Easy. G'day, YouTube. It's Maniac for Bricks and a terrible non-Australian accent. Alright, Joey here. This is exciting. This right here. This whole thing. This is one of the hardest to find, or just hardest to find a really good deal, Lego sets from my most wanted list. I made it about 2 years ago. And while it wasn't number one on the list, we already have number one right here, there are a lot of adventurer sets on that list. And this one was very difficult to find at a good price. I actually found one or two listings that were almost double this price just to get a box, board game pieces, and the cards, which I'll worry about that stuff later. But here we are. 7419 Dragon Fortress. Now, I don't have the other major flagship models from Orient Expedition, Johnny Thunder, Adventurers, all that stuff, but this is a start, and this is fantastic. And I do have some of the other Orient Expedition sets, I just haven't rebuilt them yet in order to show video of them. And welcome to the stream, everybody. So, we got Builder Brothers Productions, Debbie Shep Bricks, and I like the outfit, thank you. Trying to be appropriate with this. Somewhat bringing back a Johnny Thunder cosplay that I did several years back. I don't have all the gear together, but it's got the crucial the crucial parts: the right shirt and the right hat. I used to have it folded, but it never really held. It always came out of place. So I'm excited for this. This is fantastic. And here's the other thing that's fun about this. I've wanted this for a very long time. There was one time before I was very close to getting this set. This was at a LUG meeting where a bunch of people brought in stuff they no longer needed, was able to sell or trade with other LUG members. I had the opportunity to get this thing, but I lost it. Other people bought other parts to this before I did. So I only wound up with just the minifigures and basically bag one. Which is why you might have seen in a previous video, I had just the Jeep from this set, but nothing else. So now having the whole thing, and I've looked for a while, trying to find what was a better option, a little cheaper option. Some of them were incomplete. It wasn't really clear how much incomplete, so I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money and find out there's a bunch of crucial pieces missing, So this is exciting. The Golden Dragon that is involved with this set is something that not often, I mean, on its own, huge, it's a whopper. So getting it with the rest of the set is definitely a plus. Really want to get some Johnny Thunder sets one day. Absolutely. If I find extras of them, and I may in my travels through the internet, I'll let you know, Debbie. Ooh, I forgot. Orient Expedition had a fun thing, as well as Dino Island. They had comics added into the instructions, just to give a little bit more of the story of the theme, which is very charming. They did have some comics in the magazines, if I remember correctly. Am I dragging on too much? Just build it if you think this is enough. So Orient Expedition. This was the last wave of adventurers themed sets. They had several waves from about 1998 until 2003. Yes, 2003. Can't wait for the Haunted House as well. A lot of references. Yeah, absolutely. So that's why I've been doing a lot of this adventure stuff this past week, is because of the hype of the Haunted House. Not just for other people, but for myself as well. Really got me back into thinking about adventurers that I want to have them out and share videos about them. I've only done a handful of them before. Even Pharaoh's Quest, I didn't do that many videos. And more is coming soon. Comics in the manuals. I haven't seen that since old Star Wars. Exactly. That's yeah, that's a lost art. But yeah. Oh, don't want to tear it. Squarebound. I was trying to show before. This is actually pretty involved for 1 year of Lego sets. You had all of this is about Marco Polo's exploration of the like the Middle Eastern areas of Europe and Asia and everything like that. So it basically follows along that path, but having a couple treasures and traps, and it's the old competition between Johnny Thunder and his crew, and I'm pausing for a moment because in here he's named Lord Sam Sinister or Lord Sinister, even though technically he's probably just Baron von Baron and just adapted the name over time. They had a bunch of name confusion with that figure and with two figures. But anyways, they travel here from India. This is not actual historical map, just for playing it up. They travel through India first, and there's one golden object. They travel to the Himalayas, where you find another golden object. Travel to China, where the third golden object is, and all three of them unlock the golden dragon, which is supposed to be like a highly valuable, basically priceless artifact. Is it actually a real dragon? I'm not sure. Maybe the comic will lighten up on that. So I'll just give a moment here. Pan down. Because I got fancy technology here of seeing how everything plays out in the comic. So as usual, Sam Sinister, Lord Sinister, usually arrives before Johnny Thunder. Kind of persuades the locals, trying to saying like, "Oh, he's the villain, not me," kind of thing. So yeah, in here he basically steals all the golden weapon or all the golden artifacts that Johnny Thunder and his crew got, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna take this and deal with it." The statue comes to life, frightens him, he runs away, and all they have to do. Oh, yeah, there's this other character I believe is the daughter of the Emperor that's also helping Johnny Thunder. So they basically regain the artifacts. They swap them with the statue. That's kind of the appropriate thing to do with the temple, and it unlocks a couple keys, which it actually can demonstrate in the set, and opens up for the golden dragon. So it doesn't actually say or show in here if the golden dragon moves. I don't know. That's the one thing I was never certainly clear on it, because they've only shown just one image at the end of any of the comics about it. If it's supposed to be just a large sculpture, if it's a statue, or if it's a living deity of sorts. Did they ever make a set about the... Well, this is a set. This is the set with the golden dragon. Is that Mummy 3 was based off? Cafe Con Lego, I'm not familiar with the Mummy series, so I'm honestly not sure. Johnny Thunder Adventurers in total came out as early as 1998. Most people have interpreted it as Lego's version of Indiana Jones until Indiana Jones became licensed. And, ooh, sweet. Look at that. Metallic gold. And that's a unique headpiece as well for this dragon. The dragon itself has a basic mold. It's a new tailpiece, standard armors, but very nice. I get some gems and wings on him. I can't remember. This is like the third or fourth dragon I think I own in Lego form. Because I have a green one, I think. Thought I did. I have I have two black ones. There's one from Knights Kingdom that I got. There's one from Fright Nights. So Fright Nights, when they reference that in the haunted house, the Roman numeral that they show on the tile piece is 6007. That I was able to decipher, which leads into the Batlord set. That is a set that features one of the main characters of the theme from Fright Nights and his dragon. Got some flags. This is basically where Lego started for any kind of Oriental architecture in set form, which is why I'm doubly excited to get this one before getting the other ones, because it's like, hey, this ties into both Lego news lately of so there's the Emperor. I forget the Emperor's name though. I have to look that up. But the it does tie into both the news about Monkey Kid now available, and then the haunted house with all the adventurers references. It specifically, the haunted house references just the Egyptian era, the Egyptian wave of sets, but they do one or two small builds that are based on Orient Expedition. There's one like yellow top thing that's in the attic that's supposed to be based on one of the Himalayan sets. Like a few of them had a similar build to that, but I think one is exact to that. So we got some guards with us. I do have some of the other sets from the Chinese wave. There wasn't a lot of them. Each wave was about 5 or 6 sets, if you don't count like polybags or really small, like Kabaya Suite kind of box sets. I have 2 of the other ones from this wave specifically. There we got our man, Lord Sinister. And he dropped. So what's going on, Zebrix? Is it Joey or is it Johnny Thunder? It's about Marco. Yeah. So like the journey that they take is based on Marco Polo's adventure through the Middle East. That I think they explained in one of the club magazines. Ooh, we got the map. Yeah, I forget the Emperor's daughter's name, but there she is. And she's got an exclusive tile piece for the map. I'm not going to be able to stand everybody. They're all going to move around. This is a very discolored Dr. Kilroy, though. His arms are very yellowed. You can probably tell the difference there between the arms and torso. But that would be our professor. Also called Charles Lightning. Because back when LEGO Adventure started, they didn't have a crazy in-depth story Bible. Like, this has to be consistent all the time. They had a couple of points that changed between regions, probably just for language or something, but was definitely a thing that got things confusing later down the road. So here we have our statue. So he's got the Fright Knight's helmet in dark gray. This is the old dark gray, by the way. And for the headpiece, that's how that looks. You could actually have the statue basically inactive just by turning the head around. There's no double-sided printing. And the instructions actually encourage that you put the armor, the samurai armor from the ninja wave, on backwards. Strange move, but it's there nonetheless. I'll move everything in just a minute. Oop, it's the wrong torso. Here's our man, the original Johnny Thunder, which is actually wrong. I just realized. Yeah. So, according to the seller, they put the wrong Johnny Thunder in here. He's got the original face from the first few waves of adventurer sets. That would be like the Egyptian wave, the jungle wave. I think even Dino Island had this, and Orient Expedition kind of gave him a facelift. They updated the printing on him, but I'll fix that sometime later when I talk about the set, because this will get a surprising 1-minute review sometime soon, hopefully. There's a whole bunch of other accessories behind us. I'm gonna just leave them there for now. We have 2 hats. I don't know if this was on purpose, because in the instructions it doesn't show that's an extra. Remember that I got the set used. And so here we have Pippin Reed, sometimes known as Gale Storm. I don't think she's a love interest, but she is part of the crew for Johnny Thunder. So there we go. We got a whole bunch of other accessories, and we can just move off to the side here. We got one of the golden items, the golden helmet, which was found in this wave? Yeah, okay. Because it's surprising that like the China wave of Orient Expedition sets actually has 2 golden items, if you count the golden dragon and the helmet. India had the shield, and the Himalayas had the sword. Luckily, this set gives you all 3. Kind of crucial. All right, sorry about that. Let me zoom along with the chat. Yeah, no problem having dinner. I had to grab a snack or something before this. Kevin Ankle, how's it going? Brick Sloth, nice to see you here. Is that Joey Thunder? There you go. One of the craziest dragon prints. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, being a used copy, I don't know if it would have shown any better new. From what I'm looking at in person, on the dragon body, it's probably just because of the texture of the body itself that the print looks a little darker. Yep. All right, let's move everybody out of the way and get to the build. So if I'm looking at this correctly, hopefully it was broken up the right way. This bag should have the first half of the set. This is gonna be interesting. Might have to move the rest of this off. So yeah, this is a giant base plate also, as you see over here on the side in gray. I think it's one of the last times that they used this base plate that I can recall. It might have been this or Alpha Team, one of the two. I got the hat on, and I've been growing back the mustache, so yes. we're going into this. I'm not full. I haven't done full cosplay. I would have had like a neckerchief, robe or something, but I got enough to get the idea. I'm sorry, I can't pull it off as well as the designers. Then again, you are talking about the designers. So, anywho, first thing we're building is the Jeep. Don't worry, I got the camera on charge, so we shouldn't run out of battery midstream. Just hope I'm not called away for anything, knock on wood. Just trying to fetch the vehicle parts first. One of the last times actually, that they use this piece as well, which is pretty neat, actually. It's a window screen that used an old hinge that they don't make anymore. Oh, there we go. There it is. So it's I think it's usually called like a fork hinge or something like that. Wait, we did, but I took care of it. Everything was put away. That's why I didn't start the stream immediately after the video. So, yep. Don't worry, Kevin. We got it covered. I know, you're ready to bust me about that. If they actually did break it up between both bags, this would be a little more nightmarish to get through. Gonna take a careful look. Well, I'm going to move that off to the side anyways. We don't need it just yet. So this copy of the set did not come with the board game. Oh no, Scooby's fine. We don't need that either. I wasn't ready for the Joey roast hour. Coming in swinging. So, this copy of the set, unfortunately, I did not get the board game or the cards that go along with the set. In Orient Expedition specifically, they had a board game element with the big sets, as well as some of the small sets, but you had to get the big sets to really utilize it. Every one of the sets, at some point, included these small trading cards. They had the characters, they had vehicles, they had sometimes animals on them, they had artifacts, they had all kinds of accessories that you were meant to play with the board game. And that's a cool idea, especially considering the board game itself would have actually sat around the bigger models, and you use the minifigures as like a game piece. Yeah, absolutely. Sticking true. Well, you've been there for them all, I think. Just about all of them. So the board game would have had a whole bunch of other stuff, but unfortunately didn't get that with this listing. I'm gonna deal with it. I'll worry about getting those sometime later. I'm sure somebody will have them separately. A lot of listings from what I found didn't really have the board game included, which is kind of a bummer for me. I'd like to get everything at once, even if it's in used condition. But like I was saying earlier, if I did actually get that, and I think there was one listing that had the set complete with box, which I could go here or there about, but with something this big, probably could use. With the board game, with all the cards that came with that set, basically just like a completely used copy, it would have been twice the price of what I got this for. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna pass on that, and I'll worry about the other stuff later. Luckily, I've actually gone back to the card collecting. If you've seen over on Maniac for Bricks and More, which is a nice place to subscribe if you want more live streaming action, so that I can actually do live streams on there. But anywho, on there, I've recently went through a whole bunch of Lego card collections. I've been sorting out different cards and categorizing them, not just for Lego, but also Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, in their own binders, and it's going very well. I actually did a few more earlier today, where I was sorting out more Chima cards. I found a whole bunch that got separated, and we're with the other Speedor stuff, so that worked out very well, grouping them in. I wonder if YouTube has it correct. It says that there's one viewer on here. I know I saw people beforehand, but I don't know. Maybe it's like Twitch, where it doesn't give the exact number of viewers. Just kind of goofing. I actually went back and I mean, I liked Chima a little bit back in the day. I didn't get fully into it, but a little bit over time, I've come to like it. From, you know, there was actually a deep story aspect to it that, you know, they actually did give it their all for, you know, for an IP on the level of Ninjago. I do appreciate how much they put into it, even if I didn't fully embrace it myself. Some of the models I've seen like in person before, and they're actually pretty neat. Like even better than what they looked like in the magazines. Can't stay for long. I have to have dinner, but I love your channel. Thank you, Isaiah. And don't worry, there will be a video about this set sometime later with our Adventurers Marathon. Which is why I'm really excited that it came so quickly into the Maniac Manor. Oop, there we go. Wrap it around. And in place. We need to get some of these for the lights. They have such great colors for parts, olive green and bright orange. Yeah, I definitely love the olive green. Like I didn't think I'd miss it until it was gone, kind of thing. But that was well done in Chima, and they kind of brought it back now for the haunted house, if I remember correctly. Because the Monster Fighters haunted house was sand green, like this. But yeah, the new one has olive green, which is pretty neat. And maybe it's been around for a while and just not used as frequently. I don't know. Let's see. Now we need to build a flag. But yeah, I also got to appreciate Chima more after Nick on Planet Ripple, because he did a very nice, extensive video about Chima. Not only the history of the line, but also like what its story was about, what what meaning there was in the story. I was like, you know what? I didn't give it enough credit. That was actually pretty neat. So we've got the first part built, a Jeep, half track kind of thing. Actually does have some kind of suspension back and forth in the back of it. Every once in a while Lego did that. It's just having some pieces on an axle or a pin. I always love these treads. There's one of the Dino Island sets that I have to rebuild that has one of these, but it's like treads throughout the entire each side of it. That was awesome. It was still a lot of fun to see and play with. Look at that honker of a piece. 1, 2, 3. That's like 12 by a lot. That's how I measure things. So, yeah, now we're getting to build the temple proper. Is it proper? I don't know if it's called a temple. I don't want to be wrong about it, but let's go with that. Let's go with that for now, until I'm told otherwise. Maniac Manor TM, exactly. Yeah, these sets aren't the easiest to come by on the aftermarket, but I waited a long time. That's a tip I learned from good old LJ Johnson. It can always wait. You know, you don't have to get it the first time you see it out there. It'll probably have something better down the road. Who knows? Maybe there'll be something better after this. But I have a feeling I want to nab this now because of the hype of the haunted house and the adventurers references. I figured, well, other people are probably going to go out and try to find more adventurer sets that they grew up with or didn't have already, just like me. So I might as well go for this one. And I also got a little kickback on things to help that out. So that was good. Hashtag treat yourself. In a way. Welcome back, Deppy. I actually watched the animation for Monkey Kid, the one that was posted through, I think, Twitter. Like, yeah, Lego posted on Twitter. And I like the art style. It's something that I've seen, and I think other people pointed this out as well. In one of the recent Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV shows, it's like Rise of the TMNT. That kind of style to it. It's not bad. Yeah, I think it's, you know, it's unique enough that it can work on its own ground, and it'll be a fun thing to see play out. I did actually watch a handful of videos that summarized the Journey to the West, which is what Ninjago is. I mean, Monkey Kid. Ooh, I gotta catch flack for that. Monkey Kid is based on Journey to the West, which is a classic tale. Very influential for a lot of modern storytelling, from what I've heard. Brickstar, welcome to the stream. Very nice set. Yep. And I'm ready. I dressed for the occasion. So yeah, that was a lot to take in. Like, that it's a very long story and basically metaphorical. Like, it's not supposed to have an end per se. It's supposed to really just continue forever because it's about, I think it's about like humanity or like the human mind or something like that, and all these different characters play different aspects of it. So yeah, that's what Monkey Kid is kind of carrying from where that story left off onward. And that's why they made a figure in the Classic Collectible minifigure series based on that, which I didn't really know. I just kind of was like, okay, that's interesting. Probably, you know, historical or cultural, and nothing wrong with that. I do like that when Lego dips into some culture, you know, for the minifigs or whatever. But yeah, it was basically a sample for this theme, so that's pretty neat. That said, I'm not really going to buy the sets right now. I think some of them do look good, but I'm kind of getting my hands full with other stuff. And I'll let that stuff occupy for now. In the wake of Monkey Kid's release, I'm also doing some mech videos, which you'll see probably next week or so. And I think that'll be cool. I think that'll be good. I saw Samson in the chat. Welcome. How you doing today? Now we're gonna have a throne to build. I do kind of wish I had the Battle for Ninjago City, because that would have been great to pair up with this one, like comparison-wise, you know, which works better. I think Ninjago City's Battle for Ninjago City, excuse me, is gonna look better though because of just over 10 years of of Lego set designs and parts and building techniques, but like, do they pair nicely? Like, if you put them next to each other, do they look good as a group? Pretty good. Do you like the story thing? Wait, the Nerf one, right? I don't think I watched the whole thing. I had seen it up on the channel, but I haven't watched the whole thing yet. Sorry. I got to get back on that. Did you already show the dragon? Yep. We got the dragon. I already built it, and I don't know, the torso, maybe just because of like the texture on the middle of the dragon itself, that the gold here doesn't shine as well like as it does on the tail. It was just me. So Bexar, unfortunately, this set does not have the board game or the cards, but sometime later I'll get that. And I'm sorry I didn't put up anything on eBay yet. I keep slacking on that. I was trying to look for, as I mentioned before, I was also gonna put up the Caveman set. I was looking for that for a while, and then I needed to clean off some space, get some more pictures to actually post it, and then I would have made the video. One of my favorite pieces is I cannot tell about the gold. Gotcha. It's a great one. It definitely looks nice, and it's something that, like, if I was getting the set used, I was like, I gotta have the dragon with it, because I know the dragon on its own is a little hard to come by and goes way up. So just looking for one more piece and move on. I hope it's here. I do still have another bag of pieces, but I'm assuming, well, when you assume, I'm assuming that the seller broke down the set by section. That's what it's felt like so far. Like, this would be the main temple area, and then the rest surrounding the base plate would be in another bag. But it's good to knock down another Lego set from my wanted list. This one, I think, was tied with another set on that wanted list, and I didn't find that one yet. Not that I remember. Oh, wait, we don't need that. That's the one I need. I'd imagine if Lego did this set again, they probably would make a lot of dark green for like the roof and things. Again, referring back to the yep, I dressed up for it. Growing back the mustache. But at least got the hat and the shirt together. Some other parts I couldn't find quick enough to do with the video, so I thought this would be okay. Watch your video about hoarding versus collecting, but I don't think I commented. No, I don't think I saw it on there. Unless I wasn't notified. I mean, that video, that channel doesn't always get notifications when people comment, so otherwise I would have replied or something. Glad you got to build something. Yeah, definitely. I've been doing a lot of teardown of other Lego sets around here lately. I'm almost done with taking all the mock photos of everything I've built up to this point that I still have assembled. Bart Simpson is actually sitting right off frame. You can see the little yellow spikes here. No, that's okay. I hope it's a little bit of I feel the same way sometimes with Trains Are Fun, but it's no problem. But yeah, I've been working through a lot of sets to break down, consolidate, and be able to store without taking up enormous amounts of space. It's working well, and there's still a lot of it that I need to go back through, just like fit things in between, or another set from a theme that needed to go in that was missing before. Mars Mission is one of the worst offenders of that, because a couple of those sets I got separated from each other, and they still got to go back into the same box or boxes. Boxes. They maxed out one of the boxes, so yeah, I need to try that out. It will be done eventually, and it'll look nicer, but it's definitely clearing things up. And here in the Lego room, I'm good with that. Got a bunch of bandanas. I only had like one red bandana, and I can't even remember where it went. I've actually shown it on picture before as a full cosplay. Although the mirror picture wasn't really the most flattering, and at the time people were, misusing it. So I was not keeping that up for too long. I got other better pictures later, though. And one more, there we go. Well, the palace area is kind of I keep thinking about this with every Lego set, but I am always back and forth about it. If something should be filled to the brim with detail, or if it should be open enough to be played inside of. I think it also has to do with how the set is built. Something like the haunted house, both haunted houses really, have that element where you could open them up and still be able to get a lot of detail in there, but it's not in the way of what you're playing with or what you're building in there. It's like, okay, I can move my hands through this because it opens like a dollhouse, as most call it. Yeah, so far it's all been original dark gray pieces, so that's a good sign. I think the only dark bluish gray one there was one of the guards' staves, but that's easy. I can change that out. Is this the set that just came out? Nope, this came out in 2003. So here's a quick look from the inside of this for what you might have not seen before. Yeah, kind of barren for the whole throne area aspect. This being the throne itself. It could pop up. It's got some treasure underneath it. There's another one of the sets, the Emperor ship or something, that also has treasure in it that you could bring around. The creak on the bricks. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for joining for a little bit, Brickstar. I'll talk to you later. I'll have a 1-minute video about this somehow in the future. Yeah, the creek is really something. Ooh, I'm missing a few pieces that are in here. There we go. Not missing from the whole thing yet. Crossing my fingers. Got our trapdoor. That's a very crucial part of adventurers. Gotta have a trapdoor somewhere. I'm trying to think if they even invented or like introduced with the trapdoor mechanic, or if that was. I mean, it was kind of built in other times, but as far as the plates themselves being new, I think the Egypt wave was the first released with it. I could be wrong. A lot of the Lego knowledge that I share is mostly just from growing up with them, and I'm not saying. I mean, there's a mix of growing up with it and being very attentive, and then anything older than me just researching all over the place, basically. And I almost made myself sound like I was older than I was. Oh, you have a lot of Lego knowledge because you grew up with it? You must be in like almost 100 years old. Not there yet. Not even close. Bam Bricks, welcome. Welcome to the stream. So I'm building 7419. I knew I was going to get the number wrong. Dragon's Fortress? Or is it Dragon Fortress? I don't have that on me to check. Wait. Oh, I see. Forgot a few plates underneath, and it sits on the corner of the plate, like that. I was wondering how the roof fit on there. Oop, one at the end has to be the short one. There we go. So now we got that taken care of. And moving on to the second floor. Gotta bring it around so you guys can see what's going on here. Otherwise, you're just gonna see one side of the building for a while. There it is, jumper. I believe this floor actually has most, if not all, of the treasures just tucked away, just for the sake of it being a playset. Because story-wise, like I showed in the beginning, they would have already come here with most of the treasure, and then using that to unlock the last one. Yeah, we're doing something special right now. I'm building backwards from what the instructions show. So hopefully that doesn't end. Hopefully that ends well. Isn't the floor you just built technically a second floor? Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a second floor. Oops, that's the one. Lots of little flag pieces. Printed on both sides, too. Oop. Alright, well, here we go. Got one there. Got one here. And got one there. Then we got two assemblies on either side to build. So one of those ×2 kind of things. And this has its own kind of trap, which I'll show once it's built. Oh wait, they don't include the bricks in this bag of pieces. I'm gonna have to do that much later. I actually don't know if at the time this was released, if they did like an interview with the designers about this set and just, you know, the accuracies with China, like architecture wise, or even the traps involved with it. I don't know. That would be cool to find out. So there we go. You can see that piece rocks back and forth. Famous last words. About building it backwards. So there we go. So basically, even though I don't have anything much to show here, this would be like a trap function where you load this up with like 1 or 2 1x1 bricks, and you pour it out on the other side, like they're rocks, onto intruders. So if I try it from this side, there you go. Okay, so we did have something to demonstrate with it, but I didn't have the exact pieces they asked for the instructions. They don't have the other ones in the middle here either, because this trapdoor is technically going to have like larger rocks that drop down, so it's supposed to be like 2x2 round bricks. But okay then. I'll just go with that, I guess. People often say nostalgia. Oh, Zany Bricks, welcome to the stream. People often say nostalgia is dissatisfaction with the present. The new themes with their tie-in TV series makes me reminisce old themes. How simplicity won us over. I often question that. Also, by the way, you built that wrong. I did? This? I am building this backwards, so very possible I could have done that wrong. No, it has like one plate sticking out underneath each one of these. I'm not sure. Unless it's something else you're referring to. The spacing is wrong. Wait. All right, let me flip this around. I was trying to do this backwards because I'm trying to show you guys how it's going together instead of just seeing one flat side the entire time. Oh yeah, that is wrong. Thanks. Good eye on that. So this needs to move over one if I'm doing it correctly. So that way it's more centered. Okay, yep, all good, thank you. Good eye on that. I'm the one with the instructions. This long sleeve shirt indoors may or may not have been a good idea. All right, so we got these on top. These go over. And then we got 2 on the end. We got 2 pillars closer here. Oh, don't want to get that spacing off again. Yep, okay, good. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Yep, we're on the right track. There is another set I want to rebuild from. I mean, I want to rebuild the Orient Expedition sets in general and Adventurers in total because they're just great sets, and it would be great to have them finally rebuilt from the ashes of my collection and put them into the same box, into the same area. But one thing I would really like to rebuild from this specifically, from the China wave, I've been halfway working through an Emperor ship I mentioned earlier, and still missing a bunch of parts. Still have a lot more to dig through. But you know, at least got enough headway that I could actually build it from where it is. But after that, the thing that I need to work on, I would like to work on for this wave specifically, is the Junshi's Message, which is a small set from the wave. Every wave had some mythological, is that the right word? Some unusual creature that had like its own sort of small temple set. It revealed itself. It had a play feature with it, which was very cool. Every one of them. And the one for this one, technically, oh, I forgot a few pieces here. Whoops. The one for this wave technically lines up in this set, at least in story. I don't know if it physically does. I've never seen it on camera, on a video or anything like that, where they physically attach it into the Dragon Fortress. But I'm curious if it does, if that actually works to anything, because I think that would be awesome if it can. In the club magazines, they go a little bit more into the story than this instruction manual does, where they actually have dialogue between characters. Because the way they made these was like, oh well, we're just making it for, you know, an international release, so we shouldn't have any real big dialogue in here except for onomatopoeia. So there's things like slam or dunk, you know, like sound effects. But if I remember correctly, in the magazines, they had this in a way that Junshi was also buried underneath here with the golden dragon, like in a separate chamber or something. And Junshi, I don't know if it's, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, first of all. Second of all, I don't know if that's also based on real, like, legends, or if that's something made specifically for the theme and isn't, like, accurate. I'd wager to guess it probably is. I haven't looked too much into it, though. But considering other things, I think Tigera from India is a real legend. You got obviously the Yeti in the Himalayas. That's the one I think most people would recognize. And then there's Junshi. It's a lion-dog hybrid. I have all three of the figures. I have all those sets because they're smaller and cheaper and easier to build. And they are all pretty kind of cool. Like they had play features built mostly with system. Yeah, actually all of them were built with system, and all pretty unique to each other as to like how they revealed or how they used the larger big fig like characters in those sets. Oop, I'll flip it around here. Are those going to go on the other way? And you get some flags. I don't know if it matters which way it goes. Oh, more round plates. Pretty soon we're going to go onto the base plate, because this is just the big chunk that sits on top of the base plate, and there's more around it that we need to build. Then we got the crossbows. I don't know if they had crossbows. It's been a long time since I was learning Chinese history in school. I think we're talking like middle school, so yeah, a really long time. I don't know if they had crossbows then. I know they had fireworks, that's at least good. I've always questioned one adventurer's theme, Dino Island. How did Johnny and his pals go back in time when dinosaurs still existed? That sounds like a brick theory to me, Zbrix. I'm gonna have to get on that. But thank you for joining the stream, and I'll talk to you later when this becomes a 1-minute review. And yeah, I think I could pull it off in 1 minute. Being able to talk about the set thoroughly. I've been improving on those videos, so hopefully the not only is the comedy there, just, you know, making fun of both myself and sometimes the set, but also the, you know, being able to show everything and still have an opinion at the end of the video. Because that's one thing I tried to be crucial about was, you know, it's fun. I want to have fun with the set. I want to make fun of the set, but I also want to, you know, be real and say, okay, it's a review. I'm obviously showing my opinion on this thing. Please. Okay, there we go. This camera stand literally is on its last legs. It's on all of its legs, but it's on its last legs. It runs off of ball joints, and those ball joints they kind of wear out over time. So every once in a while, I've recorded a video or even recorded outtakes, or it becomes outtakes, where the video literally just drops because the camera dropped. Like it falls off the table, or it just falls onto the table. Trying to hold it at a certain angle, you know. Okay, so these will be facing this way. And we got this. And we got that. Nice and simple. This by itself is really cool, the way everything lines up, even though it's a very basic building. It still looks nice to me. Like I said, this is the start of LEGO's foray into like Oriental architecture, and even just, you know, more historical stuff. I'd say the first attempt would be Ninja, which was a short-lived castle sub-theme in the late 90s, around the time Adventurers was beginning. No wonder. So when that happened, they had it more based on, I would say, feudal Japan, maybe some Chinese influence here and there, but from what I can gather, it's more different than this in structure. Lots of creaky pieces. Creaky brick sounds like could be someone's username. There we go. Almost to the top. Like it never stop. Couple of recolors in here for its time, like the doors being in black. And almost done with these pieces. We got a few lanterns we need to hang around as well. That's where those transparent yellow heads came from before. According to the instructions, they originally broke up this set into not bags, boxes. Larger LEGO sets on occasion, especially during the early 2000s, would have a a special printed bag on the front, like to show what all the components are and what you're building in that bag from that bag. If you could build it in that bag, that would be impressive. But it also had, every once in a while, certain sets had boxes. There were small cardboard boxes inside of the large set box itself to divide everything, make it easier to know where to point put it. And this, it first showed it as a box for the minifigures, the dragon, and the Jeep. And then the bags started here with this set originally for building, the temple and the rest of this. So, next step. I don't even know if I'm allowed to put this on yet because it looks like we got stuff underneath the build too. Because that's the idea. This underneath area is where the dragon will be resting. Baseplate does have a little bit of a bend to it. I've tried to bend it back before starting this live stream, but I don't want to break it either. So I figure if I build enough on top of it, it should work itself out. Or most of it should work out. Alright, so I'm going to move this over here. Move this in the center. And so far, so good. So far, we've had everything built. Nothing, no pieces missing so far. Oh, this is gonna be messy. See if I can move these minifigs and Jeep back a little bit. Calling it Jeep just because I'm used to seeing it as a Jeep. A lot of Jeep builds in adventurers in general. Or something like a Jeep build. Let's see now. Is there a certain way the base plate should be facing? Does that matter? Does it even line up? Okay, it lines up on that side. So now I know that, kind of. Get some more tiles. And some plates. Let's put these big pieces over here. We won't need them for a little bit. Doors, we'll fit those over here. I can get to the smaller pieces. I forget where they posted it, but somebody posted online the other day about what kind of Lego builder are you? When building a Lego set, do you sort all the pieces or do you lay it out in one big pile? I'm the one pile kind of guy. Because 9 times out of 10, that's how the pieces arrive. Or if I'm rebuilding a set, they're going to be one big pile anyways. Not that I can't sort them, but I'd rather just get right into it. Probably find the pieces anyways. I feel like it would take more time to try to. I don't know. It could go either way. Oh, gotta bring it to the front now. There we go. I would be so excited if Lego incorporated adventurers into Lego Worlds. I'd say game of the year if that was the case. I mean, already they have a bunch of really cool stuff. I mentioned before I couldn't find the Agents Pack, but it turns out I didn't complete the tutorial. The Agents Pack was free across all systems, and it started on the PS4. And it turns out by now they've now made the Monster Pack and the Space Pack free for many systems as well. I thought that was just a Switch exclusive that they made it free. But okay. So I think I got the PS4 version first, and I bought the thing there. Brick Hive, welcome to the stream. And we're on the second half, almost second half, of the Dragon Fortress. So it's going pretty well. We have new Indiana Jones sets eventually, which should have some classic indie sets remade during that time frame. That would be awesome. I mean, if they went back to Indiana Jones for a new movie or something like that, I could totally see them, just like with, well, almost like, yeah, I guess they didn't do that with Toy Story 4. But Toy Story 3, when that movie came out, they made sets based on 1 and 2. And then, so yeah, I could see that happening with Indiana Jones. So much more time has passed between now and when they last had Indiana Jones that I would totally be down for some remake sets. Oh, please don't break Bart Simpson. He's right behind this. This new movie being made, Lego will make sets. Yeah, I could see that. No, I knew that they were making a new movie. I'm just saying, I was trying to agree with you. There it is. So that should help build the rest of the staircase. Yeah, it turns out the way this is looking so far, I like Pharaoh's Quest and Adventures as well. Yeah, I will try to have more Pharaoh's Quest set videos or something about Pharaoh's Quest in the near future. But I'm sticking with the Adventures for right now, just because I know there's a whole bunch. There's ones I've gotten more recently out of hype. And yeah. Oh, wait, that wasn't supposed to go there? Oh, okay. Oh, right, this goes in front, I guess. Gotcha. So, yeah, I'll try to go back into Pharaoh's Quest as well. Oh, that's not good. One of the tubes inside of this 1x3 brick was broken. I don't think it broke here. I don't see another. No, I don't see another piece for it. Well, that stinks. Well, hopefully that still holds. Otherwise, I'll just have to replace that. It's so creaky. Oh, so creaky. Yeah, I was just saying before that one of the other sets in this wave I thought might actually fit underneath the base plate. Turns out there's no room for it. So it's more of a story element than anything. Also, what might not be helping this is the fact that the base plate had a little bend to it. So maybe by fitting more pieces on here, it'll hold it together. I know you agree. What set are you building? I came in late. Sounds vintage. So this is the Dragon Fortress from 2003. It's set number 7419. This is basically the last of, or very close to last, of the Orient Expedition and Adventurers sets entirely. So I mentioned before in the stream about the Golden Dragon and a little bit of the story on how they were trying to follow Marco Polo's journey through Middle East, going to India, going to the Himalayas, and then winding in China and collecting different treasures along the way. And the Golden Dragon is therefore the prize at the end of it. There are 3 golden items like metallic gold, and one of them actually comes with a set that's also used with the dragon. So that's cool. All right, so where am I? Okay, I gotta find those pieces. There they are. Yeah, it's gonna have a bit of creakiness to this, but we'll work it out. Yeah, the sides give an illusion like there's supposed to be a tunnel, but not really actually making one, just because of the base plate. So it's not possible. As a kid, I never had this base plate, even in other sets, so I didn't know. And I thought that would be cool if it did actually, connect underneath in another way. Because in the story of this, for Orient Expedition, that's what they do. Something very close to that. This is one of my top, one of my most wanted retro Lego products. Made a list about it 2 years ago, somewhat inspired by Brickstar, and this was high on the list, but it wasn't the very last. It wasn't number one. The number one I already picked up, and I've actually reviewed recently, the Expedition Balloon, and I still love it. What I was trying to get to in that video is the fact that I didn't like how it was upcharged so much, in the aftermarket. But as it is, it's still a decent looking and, playing set. It is a dope dragon. My nephews have my moon crater base plates from the late 70s, early 80s. I rather gave my bin away. At least it was to family. That's still good. It's not the best case scenario, but I'm glad it still went to family. And I've definitely heard of people who, when they stopped playing with Lego, some of their relatives have thrown away, like, in the garbage. And I just can't comprehend that. That's like too bad. It's too awful. Then again, I've heard of people throwing away Mega Bloks, but that's just because they're not a fan of them, and a little bit of spite. It's like, you could ease up on that. Just make sure that this fits in place before I move on. Okay, doke. Scooby's at it again. Mom was an artist. I was one of 5 kids. I had tons of nieces and nephews, so she wouldn't throw away Lego. Oh, that's good. Wait. Oh, okay. This piece goes here. Well, yeah, I can see that as, like, being a hand-me-down thing as well. Most of my first Lego came as a hand-me-down from my brother. Like, we were both playing with it, but obviously him being born before me meant that he would have Lego around. So yeah. So that's why I don't know officially what my first Lego sets are, because it's a very good chance that they could have been hand-me-downs. Like, even if it was even if I was young enough that I was playing with Duplo, I could have just as easily been playing with my brother's Duplo. He's 2 years older than me, so I could see that happening. And top of the stairs. Very steep staircase. But it works. No lever or anything underneath it like in the Pharaoh's Quest sets. I'm getting closer and closer to completing those. The Pharaoh's Quest was a theme that I liked from the start. I was hoping that would be a reboot in a way of Adventurers. And I didn't get many sets at the time. I think I only had 2 of them during its run. But afterwards, I was still interested in those. And I was convinced it was a reboot, not just because it's taking place in the desert, but because the characters were even named the same way that Johnny Thunder or Pippin Reed or, you know, Harry Kane, all those names. Gale Storm also for Pippin Reed in some regions. Like they had that motif going with their naming, and I thought, and it was like, oh, they're doing the same thing with that with the other sets in Pharaoh's Quest. They have Dr. Hale, they have Jack Rains, they have Arena Spalko is from Indiana Jones. I'm getting them confused. And that's also not a weather name. But it was a close enough thing that I was like, I can see where they're going with this and I like it. And then it stopped. They carried it out in like late 2011 and then nothing happened after that. I'm like, why? Why would you do this to me? Like they obviously had some effort. They wanted to make sets and they just pushed that out as a wave. I honestly still don't understand it. I just remember Classic Space, the moon-based station. Oh, that's good. I never owned any of the Classic Space sets growing up because obviously I was too young for them. But even as a hand-me-down or anything, I was born in 95. So my brother, born in 93, would not have had anything. We didn't have anything from relatives. We basically started out fresh. We could have potentially had sets from my cousin at some point, but that didn't work out. Ooh, that is a Mega Bloks piece. But that didn't actually work out. By the time we asked about it, they had already given them away, which is kind of a shame. Otherwise, I would have had the blimp much sooner. And several other sets from mid 90s. A couple Insectoid sets I remember he had. But that's fine. Still got him at some point. Oh, is this going to be a 2 build? I have to build 2 of these? Nope. Okay. Or it's a mirror build, maybe. Eventually we'll get some kind of Adventure Egypt theme back. The latest after Pharaoh's Quest that I was hoping out would be that kind of thing was, of all things, City Jungle. Because that was, again, the closest representation that we had of like an explorer theme with, some ancient ruins. There's traps involved. And I'm not saying they always have to be adventurers. But if there was a time to do so, if LEGO actually wanted to go through with it full force, it wouldn't have been a city theme. So that's where my hopes further dashed, but I still like it for what it is. There's nothing wrong with it. Still has a lot of really cool sets. That's one of, I'm sure eventually I'll get the rest of the sets. I have a bunch of them now, most of the smaller ones, which are decent. And let's see. This. And we need a black. Oh, it was sitting upside down. That's why I couldn't find it. There we go. I'm building a small catapult. With a couple more rock pieces. Mind you, they don't use actual rocks. They just have 1x1 bricks. Fill that roll. That's fine. And there. Or is it there? That's there. Okay. I'll just fit the rocks back here for now. I want to accidentally launch them. And we'll place that over here. Fits right in place. There might... actually, I don't know if there's anything else that goes underneath here. Probably. Otherwise, it would have said to put it on top, right? I don't know what texture they're going for with the like slanted pieces, like what kind of material that's supposed to be. If it's brick or something. Well, it looks nice. I like the consistency from the buildings. Even the other buildings in this wave have that color scheme and texture. I bought the Ninjago Legacy Monastery just because it's a great part for it's great parts for Asian architecture. I agree. That's one I should probably get into at some point, but I haven't yet. But I keep seeing it in the stores and I'm like, it looks pretty cool. Before, a little while ago, when Monkey Kid images and set names and things were coming out, I was under the impression that LEGO is kind of diving too deep into so much, Chinese culture, between the Chinese New Year stuff that just kind of crept up over time, and then the, bringing them to the West, then they put them into the, what do you call it? I think they had one or two promos with it or something, like a double VIP or something. The one thing that I was like, I feel like this might be too much is the fact that, okay, Ninjago, sure, but now you're putting another theme on top of that. I was a little unsure about it. I was just like, maybe we're doing a lot too fast. That maybe this is like I'm not saying it's half of their products, but it's a good chunk of their products are just based on Chinese culture, architecture, and things in a short span of time. And I thought maybe if they pull it back a little bit, each one will get a chance to breathe. Like even Monkey Kid, if it was like another year or two, give it a chance to breathe in between things. And I'm not saying I'm not on the camp that it's an Ninjago killer. I'm not. It's just I'm not. But I am uncertain as how they're going to balance between Ninjago and Monkey Kid as properties. Because I would imagine maybe they're getting a head start with Monkey Kid now, get people used to it, and then give Ninjago a proper finale if they wanted to continue Monkey Kid, much further. I don't know. Am I a contradiction? I might be. I'm not aware enough. I'm not probably informed enough to probably speak this the best way possible, honestly. Titanium J52, welcome to the stream, man. So we're more than halfway through building the Dragon Fortress. And we got Stud Sidious. Welcome. Oh wait, you're already here. I was reading Titanium J's message and then I saw yours. I'm halfway through the monastery, then I'll be part into Monkey King Tumble. There you go. Yeah, all that stuff I don't even know. I'm not credible enough, I don't think, to weigh in on that whole debate. Sneezing. 'Tis the sneezing. definitely. So yeah, Titanium J. There's the dragon with the standard body that they use at the time for dragons. They made a new head, add jewels in for the eyes, a new tail, and printed all through the body. Gold, red, and black. It's a pretty good combo. Yeah, absolutely. I don't remember, and I couldn't find it between here in the comics or even in the original Orient Expedition comics that they had in the magazines, if the dragon was a real creature or if it was just a prize statue. I honestly don't know between the two what they were, what it was supposed to be. I'm assuming that it was a prize statue. Like maybe some, extravagant. I don't even remember the online games, how much they weighed in as far as the story or the canon for the theme. I could be wrong about that too. Shouldn't be afraid to say I don't know this thing after a while of knowing about this thing. So that's one lock tower done. I'm going to scoot that back here. Oh, I did not like the sound of that. Something break. No? Okay. That's good. Nothing broke. Very quickie. Alright then. Moving on. I have to get that dragon trans red. Yep, trans red wings. The dragon by itself goes for a hefty price, so good luck on even just that part of it. I'm not saying like it's better to buy the whole set. I mean, if you wanted both, it's better to buy the whole set. But if you want the dragon, it's not a cheap thing. As I mentioned in the beginning of the stream, I had one opportunity. I could have gotten this set before. Some members of a lug, I was at a lug meeting, had this set that they were basically parting out. Somebody wanted to get the dragon and a couple of the metallic gold items and got to it before I asked about the whole set because I would have got the whole thing. So the most that I got out of it were the minifigs and the half-track Jeep, which was okay, and it was definitely cool getting some of those figures, but they kept making me wonder, when am I going to get the rest of it, The rest of the set that they had was used. It was broken up, so I couldn't even tell if it was a complete model of the whole building, and I decided to pass on it. Feeling uncertain about, how much was going to be built. I would like to put this with Ninjago movie stuff, but that's not going to fit on the same shelf. If anything, I would kind of reserve a bunch of this stuff for an adventurer's shelf. I've had that in my head for a while, that I could do each sub-theme of adventurers at different points. Because the plan of the shelves are always to have them in rotation. Whenever I feel like it, whenever it's, whenever I want to do new video with a setup of them, or if I get new items to add into it, that would work. And that's where it also helps having the sets bagged and grouped together in boxes. So it's like, if I want to find every set from this theme, that's the box I take out, and I can, go through it as I need to. But for adventurers, it's not all gonna fit on the same shelf. That's for sure. And that's fine. I could always have things swap around. So I could do some of the China sets. I could do some of the jungle sets another time. I was in college when that came out, probably. I wasn't buying sets. Art school had me tied up. Supplies were... Yeah, I know about art supplies. Yeah, they are expensive. Those old base plates got scary. They dry out a bit. Yeah, that's true. Unfortunately, when I received this thing, it had a little bit of a bend already in the box. I was like, oh, I can't believe it actually fits, but I was still careful when taking it out to be sure nothing went wrong. Ismo, what? Oh, I'm missing a piece? Oh, it was sitting in the doors. Like inside of the, in between these parts of the doors. Well, okay then. So we got that part now built. That's looking good. I'll get the rest of it in frame in just a bit. Got some more stairs to add to the back. So there we go. There's a look already. And then we've got a small doorway to build next. Dragon fits the look of the monastery set. I like that color combo with Asian styles. That's true. Even the subtle sand green that was introduced here works well with the sets. Or works well with the style of the buildings. I like that in it too. And this is actually something that I do like the adventurers aspect of it. You know, you have all these different areas to wander through, and using the play features as building the whole story, no pun intended. I keep trying to wonder about when people talk about the charm of Lego sets, and that it was, you know, it's either different or that it's lost or however they want to call it. What that means when something has charm. Like, it's not the most pleasing thing, but it's still, I don't know. I guess it's friendly enough that it's good. I don't know what the I'm still trying to learn that. Because I'm like, what is it about? Or what makes it charming? And how do we continue it if it was quote unquote lost? So the keys will go in here. And let's see. Oh, don't wander away from me yet. I don't need that one. Just when I was thinking the next live stream build I was going to have was the rowboat from the Chinese New Year wave. This was a good option. Glad I waited for this in the mail, which means it'll be a 1-minute review sometime later on YouTube. So there we got our doorway. Closes up like that. That'll fit in the back here. I'll get to that in just a sec. So as this is open, this will have our statue inside, like so. I don't even have a picture in here of the play feature. So this is how it looks. Got this part. Close that in. And this fits like snugly on the back. We'll take our golden dragon. That's got enough space to fit right in here, even with the wings open. It fits in, and it doesn't go above this area. It's impressive. And then, why is this not closing? Okay. Let me take each of these doors, and we'll spin the locks inward. So now this thing's locked in place as the model. And I'll get back to it in just a sec. Just gonna add the other parts together. Ooh, there's a lot of pages left in this thing. All right, I'll do that in just a sec. I'm just gonna put this all together, see how that all turns out. Carefully. Right on top of the brown bricks. Old brown, by the way. Well, almost fits on top of them. And it has a little bit of leniency on the side, but close enough. I might have to try moving the dragon again sometime afterward. All right, so let's bring this all in frame. Almost all of it. And we have the Dragon Fortress. So, got it open from the front, walk up the steps. You've got, the catapult on one side. You've got firecrackers on this side. Just a nice little historical accuracy. All right, be right back. And looks awesome. Yeah, definitely. It definitely looks nice, even for 2003 building standards. Where today they would probably do a lot more textural detail to it. I'm just loading things up in the back for some of the other play features. Oh wait, there's no sword in here. Wait. Did it not come with all of them? I thought it did. Ooh, I was wrong. Maybe I was just under the impression because it was at the end of the story, but no, they did not show it anywhere in here. Well, I'm gonna collect the other sets anyways, but now I know that. So it only includes the golden helmet and the golden dragon. So I'm mistaken about that from earlier when I said, oh, it has everything. You got these rocks so you can drop out from these little windows on the second floor. Whole second floor is like packed with stuff versus the throne room, which is pretty open. Bolo, welcome to the stream. So there we have it from the back side. And that's where we have those little guard towers, guard houses, whatever you want to call them. It definitely is. And throne room pops open. It's got a couple treasures. Agents of Mach, welcome to the stream, right on time as I got this built. The set is actually really nice. I had no idea. Yeah, absolutely. So I will also share this a little bit afterward on its own video. But there we have little pieces of treasure underneath the Emperor's throne. A large throne in the middle with some gems on the side. Got a ladder up here. As I was demonstrating before, each of these can tilt up and they can toss out rocks in the form of 1x1 bricks. And then you have the back here where it has a golden helmet with also a trap door with a couple more rocks that can be dropped down. Just like a classic adventurer set should do. having a trapdoor or some things that fall down. A live review. I've done live reviews before, but this is like the extended version. At some point later, I'll try to put this into a 1-minute video, just like I did the other videos, and quickly but carefully, investigate everything. What's your favorite play feature? All right, so Bolo wants to know my favorite play feature. It's this. This is gonna blow your minds. So in the back here, there's this gateway that opens up, and you have a statue in there with a sword, a shield, and a helmet. All the other adventurer sets in this line, in Orient Expedition, they're going from India to Himalayas to China and collecting different golden artifacts. And the best part is the fact that they all line up here. I thought originally this included all 3 of them. I was mistaken about that, but assuming that you had all 3 of them from those other sets, you could actually take the minifig, swap it out with each of them to give them the respected golden armor. And by doing so, you unveil 3 keys. Or 2 keys. I can't count. These 2 keys would open up each of these doors, which aren't technically locked. That's why I'm able to just flip them open like that. But still playing with the story aspect of it. That's why this is all put together the way it is. Each of these has a lock inside of here that by turning them, you can bring this whole part out. It locks in place. These little inlets. We're all behaving. And inside, as you can see, underneath the palace is the prize of the Golden Dragon. So we can bring that out once again, get everyone to see it. Sega, welcome. The Golden Dragon, the end-all be-all treasure of Orient Expedition. It's got some metallic gold on it. It's printed gold along the old dragon torso. It's got a new piece for the tail that's unique and printed. This thing by itself, finding this on the black market, is pretty pricey. And I was going to get the whole set anyway, so I'm like, if I'm getting this set, I better have this. I better have everything here. Luckily, this is 100% complete. I'm glad. The only thing that's missing from here are some of the other features, which I'll get to with the rest of the manual. But this has got to be my favorite play feature of this because it incorporates so much discovery, and the fact that it incorporates the other sets that you have to swap them out to move the guard out of the way, to get the keys, to open these and even open this thing out. I love that. All of that going together, just a handful of play features on their own, but the fact that they're story driven with them is what I love the most about this set. Other than its style, it does have a really good look around the set, all the style with it. I unfortunately right now don't have the other treasures because I don't have those other sets. I may have a golden sword somewhere though, but I don't think I have the shield. So I do not have that. I don't have either of the sets though, but I may have the sword from something else, or just bought on my own, or something. We'll fit the dragon back inside here. And you can take off the top of this if you really wanted to. But I was actually testing, like, can you fit it in without that? This will fit back in place. Very, very flush. These lock up. And then these close up. And it looks perfectly fine. Looks perfectly normal. So it's basically like 3 levels going on with this thing. That, so that's what that dragon is from. I always wanted that type of dragon minifig. Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty cool. The fact that it has eyes printed on the minifig head is because it's like the statue activating. Like when you've switched all of the gear on it, then it basically is like activating this mechanism, to open up, and reveal the keys. And I guess also just to be like a guardian, because in the comic they actually illustrate that it comes to life a little bit before that, just to ward off anyone, you know? Like, that. I think that's all I got to say here. It's a really phenomenal thing, and that's without even including the half track Jeep to go with it, so you can fit up to 3-4 figures in here. What got me into Johnny Thunder? I grew up with it. I was born in 1995. The theme started around 98 or so, so I already knew the sets roughly around the time they were released. And for me now, it's basically nostalgia. It's coming back to this and enjoying what I grew up with. Just included base plates in general now. Yeah, they don't do that as much, especially not the raised ones. I just throw those accessories back in here. And we mentioned before that we had an Emperor minifig. I don't remember the names. I don't want to get them wrong until I look it up. Yeah, an Emperor minifig. He's also got back printing on his head for his hair, so he's not completely bald. But he does have the same cape piece as the vampires did back in that time. I think even now they still use ones like that. We've got Lord Sam Sinister, or Lord Sinister, aka Baron von Baron, we hope. The naming convention with this character has been screwy for a long time, and the recent Haunted House, they haven't completely spruced that up. I don't know if they're going to fix that or anything. We've got the Emperor's daughter, I believe, who is actually helpful with Johnny Thunder and their crew. The Emperor is more on the side of Lord Sinister, though. And she's got a map piece. We've got Dr. Kilroy, aka Charles Lightning, in some versions. This is the wrong Johnny Thunder. He's got the classic face. He should have a different face. Orient Expedition actually had new printing with Johnny Thunder and Pippin Reed, which is right here. And we've also got two guards. Like I said before, one of the guards here on my left hand actually has a dark bluish gray instead of old dark gray, but I can replace that easily. Do I have all the Johnny Thunder sets? No, but I wish. I'm still working my way towards that. I still have other ones to get to. After this thing, I mean, this one I'd say is kind of hard to find online, but not too hard to find because there's still like a couple copies out there. They're just expensive. Luckily, this one was on the simpler side, but it was still more than the retail price. This one, there's another one I have on my list for adventurer sets that's really, I don't know why I can't seem to find any more than like 1 or 2 copies online, especially through eBay. It's one of the Amazon Jungle sets. It's the big one that uses the same base plate, but it actually turns it sideways. So that in-between area, where normally you'd have something built in here, they actually use as like a river underneath, and they have a drawbridge that goes through here, but like the drawbridge can flip over. It's really cool, but it's really, like, nobody has it for sale right now. At least through there. Maybe Bricklink is different. I don't know which one is going to be cheaper at this moment, but some point I will try to gather all the adventurer sets. I do have a couple other ones that I will go through as well. Some other ones I need to get parts to fix them up. There's one I've already recorded a video and I'm going to publish it, even though it's still missing a few pieces, but they're very minor. So it's kind of, if you don't know it, you're not going to really recognize it. If you do, maybe you will. But like a few accessories or something like that. Not that I can't find them, or I'd have to order them separately. I probably do have them, I just don't have them with that set right now. Oh well, I'll figure it out some point later. But yeah, eventually it would be fantastic if I could do, if I did a collectathon on adventurers about what I've collected from this theme and what I would continue to collect. I'd break it up. I can't do all of them in the same video. Same thing as Star Wars. I would have to do it by wave or certain, gaps of time, So like Orient Expedition would just be one thing. And then I would do the Egypt wave as another, or the Amazon jungle as another. Look, we want to keep this in frame. So in the back of the instructions, there's still a beefy amount of pages left. And basically, it breaks down the board game that is included with Orient Expedition. They had a soft board game release with the Lego sets. They included cards in different sets that could be used with each other. They kind of used the minifigs as well, not only as game pieces, but also like the accessories, the vehicles. I didn't really grasp onto it, not because I didn't want the sets. I did get the sets and I got some of the cards. The problem is I never got the board game, or I never knew the rules that were supposed to go with the board game, so the cards were just kind of a fun bonus with the sets. But eventually I'll try to get those as well. I'll try to get all the cards as well. This copy of the set, unfortunately, did not come with the board game or any of the cards, but I will take that over the double price that I would have had to pay for that. Because another listing like this, 100% complete, all the figures and everything, all the golden, the golden elements that you saw before, and the board game and the cards and the box that the set came in. Twice the price. It's like, you know what? I'll stick with this for now and figure out the other stuff later. Maybe then it'll be easier to find some other time. But it's a board game that literally wraps around this base plate. There's a whole bunch of cards on it that breaks down the rules, how items are used in here. Each of the items have their own cards. I don't know all the rules just by reading through this, even skimming it right now, but I'll figure that out sometime later. One of the cards is actually used in Lego Ninjago City, or Lego Ninjago movie set, Ninjago City. I always call it the wrong thing. And that card is very similar. It's actually from an earlier part of the wave, but it's very similar to this picture right here. In the comic book shop, they use a whole bunch of Easter eggs from other Lego themes like Chima, and one of those was Johnny Thunder. Except he's not in the traditional outfit that he has here and what I'm wearing, what I'm basing that off of. It actually has him in the India outfit, where he has a green version. If I could get a green version of this and do if I could make every Johnny Thunder variant in cosplay form, that would be amazing. I got the basic one. I got the most iconic one, though. I guess it also came with the dice, because that's also shown here. Tip: Jules do not have an item card, but can help you win the game. Okay, that's cool. Oh, and so it's about like you can grab items at certain points, but you can only carry so many at the same time. Yeah, this is really like a whole rule book built into the instructions. So that's interesting on its own. Yep, and we reconnected. Oh my gosh, it's still going? Wow. Like a real... I mean, the one thing that makes this a long rule book is the fact that they have like a lot of languages. They have like 12 or so languages featuring all the rules to this, to make it as multilingual an instruction booklet as possible. The comic book in the beginning only had words like onomatopoeia, like slam or dunk, as dialogue, or anything written on there. All the dialogue was mostly done through symbols. That's a cool picture on its own. It's still going, though. There's still more pages to this. Oh, are you kidding me? Can you actually play this board game with all three sets? Is that what... Because that's what they're showing, is like they all line up with each other. Other boxes in the LEGO Orient Expedition range can be added to extend the game and increase the number of players. Other sets contain vehicles, items, challenges, and more heroes and baddies. You can even extend your adventure by linking up your Orient Expedition China with Orient Expedition India and Orient Expedition Mount Everest games. Ho 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 ho. That sounds like a BrickFair event waiting to happen. Like a big group event of playing Orient Expedition board game with these sets. If I actually got all three of them, I could petition that idea. Holy moly. That's incredible. Trying to add all of these things together. And like I said, not just with these, I mean, like, these alone, the flagship models in every wave could do enough to give you a comprehensive board game. But then you have all the other sets that go along with each wave. Most of them have cards with them. So that's just insane possibilities. I would love to see if anybody's ever done that. They've actually played through a game with even one of these. But all three of them and more. That would be just... At some point, I would love to rebuild the adventurer sets that I grew up with. And slowly but surely, I've been going through them in order to show them on video. They also got some alternative models. This was back in the age of alternative models in the back of the instructions. Trying to give one big photo to show how to rebuild this thing into a large tower. You got the inside of the tower. That's pretty cool. Does it have the same play features? Oh, I just realized they do. So they basically just took this top half of it and rebuilt it. Using the same play features. All the bottom is the same. Even the lock mechanism, even the little door in the bottom, that's the same. That's actually incredible. So if you wanted something that had a bit more height to it, you can do that. Because technically, this is just a roof. There's no third floor of the building. It's above ground, I should say. Oh, here we go. So now we got one that actually takes apart the entire thing and rebuilds it into another kind of castle, another kind of fortress structure thing. They keep the Jeep. The half track stays the same. A couple of play features here, kind of different, pieces that they use around. Okay. And then the back of this, I guess. Yeah, they showed the back of this as well, with more things to play around with. And that's the last page. They don't show anything in here about the Golden Dragon, though. Okay. Still neat. Not bad. And there's a last look. I love the back of the instructions, that it just simply shows this. This is something that they showed basically since the beginning of the wave. So it always hinted at the next wave or so, or the next part of the story, even when you had the first couple sets here. And then you have a bunch of sets up here. And then you have a bunch of sets here. All the while with this Golden Dragon silhouette in the background. And I don't know if they always had it on the front of the instructions as well, or if it had something else pictured. The rest of the front of the instructions show the other China sets in some way. Like there, right there, right there. Actually, Great Wall of China probably isn't. or the bamboo reeds. Yeah, very cool though. So, I had a lot of fun with this, and I will be continuing more adventurer sets real soon on the channel. I've got a bunch that I've already recorded that I still need to edit, and hopefully now my computer will cooperate so I can actually get that done and have more to share throughout this week. I've been working on some mech sets. Some of you might have seen that over on twitch.tv and on Instagram. I built this guy. I got another mech set or two that I've been building. In the wake of Monkey Kid, I thought that would be appropriate, having a marathon of mech sets. This is only something I'm really planning to do for this month. June is probably going to have a different schedule, because I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to buy these sets right away. I was totally fine with going head on into this over the Haunted House. Haunted House will still be around for a bit, even though I said it's close to a day one purchase for me. Still figuring everything else out. If I how I'm gonna get that, if I'm gonna get it through the mail or something. Yeah, very weird with these times how that's gonna work. But there we have it. A very extensive look into the Dragon Fortress. I'll have to replace Johnny Thunder at some point, and maybe I might even replace Dr. Kilroy, just to make him look a little nicer, because like I said, that one is a bit yellowed on his torso. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I may or may not be wearing this again in another video. Who knows? If you stick around, you'll find out. And we'll see you next time with more LEGO videos. Thank you for joining the live stream. Wonder what a reboot of the Adventurers would be like. Sorry, I missed a whole bunch of... It stopped showing comments for a bit. A reboot of Adventurers would be basically Pharaoh's Quest or City Jungle. Those are the closest things we've had exploration-wise, like, to Adventurers. So I go with either one of those. Or something greater. I've definitely seen people on LEGO Ideas put out some kind of reboot of Adventurers, like even with new minifigs and things, and I thought that was a really good model, and I think I supported that one already. So hopefully you get a chance to see that, because that if they can make that, that would be great. Like if they already dipped in with a little bit of classic space, now Pirates with the Barracuda Bay set, if they could dip in with other sets like that, I think they'd have something really good going. Maniac for Johnny, that definitely. That's so cool. It does sound like a Brick Fair event. It definitely does, because I've actually wanted to make a Brick Fair event for a while. Like since Brick Fair Virginia last year, I've been talking with other people. We've been trying to debate on like how we're going to make a Brick Fair event for next year, and then everything went down for this year, so we're still kind of waiting on it. I've talked about how maybe it could be incorporated with the other events, and basically just trying to wait on what's going on here. You know, is the event going to hold? Is it going to postpone? What's the deal? And until further notice, kind of thing. But if it can happen, I would definitely want to make things happen. I've already petitioned about a LEGO Racers event where using like Power Functions motors and other RC motors from LEGO's past in order to run around on a racetrack. I've been working on demos for it for a while actually, and I haven't shared it on the channel because I was like, oh, I want to see how things develop and make sure everything will work and get permission as well. Another event I've wanted to do, Spinjitzu Tournament, where I basically bring in a lot of the cards and spinners, even other people bring in their own stuff as well. And we have several tables that are set up with, or even somewhere on the floor or whatever the case may be. It could probably work on the table though. That we have, you know, people using cards and spinners and things like that from the original 2011 and 2012 sets. Anything beyond that, I'm not saying it's not fair or illegal, but it's not going to work. You kind of need those components together, you know, for the spinners, especially for the characters to the cards, especially, you know, that kind of stuff. That would be cool. I would love to do that. If I could find the game board for this, that would be another fun thing, because LEGO board games do come up every once in a while, a Brick Fair or Philly Brick Fest. Even Philly Brick Fest being postponed later in the year, I would have loved to host an event like that, whether or not as part of their official schedule. Just being able to bring this stuff like I did last year and having it available for people to try out, just something new. JB Brick Fanatic, thank you about the look, just stopping by. Yeah, no problem. I will talk about the whole set itself sometime later. I don't have my watch on me, so I don't know how much later in time I'm actually reading these. Have I ever grown out your mustache and not your beard? I've tried before, and I didn't think it really looked that good with just the mustache. Like little bit look, that's not bad. But if it's full mustache, it just feels a little cheesy to me. I don't know. And sometimes it gets in the way. Like if I'm talking or something, I'm just like, no, I can't do that. Hashtag is that Joey. So, all right, I'm gonna wrap this up. I've got some more videos to work on, and after, also want to mention, I'm working on a whole bunch of other videos as well at the same time. I'm trying to figure out a new schedule. I'm trying to figure out for the umpteenth time this year. I know it's annoying. I'm also trying to figure out. Ooh,
Trying to figure out where that went.
I'm trying to figure out a schedule of videos that won't be overbearing for me, for you guys, but also will be consistent. Like, I'd love to have mocks shown. I'd like to have, regular Lego sets shown. Figuring out something in between them. I'd love to do more trivia videos. Like the top 5 Lost Lego Media was a great video. Even though it needed some work here and there for editing, I had a lot of fun doing the research for that and sharing it, and a lot of people seem to like that as a concept. And I'd love to do more trivia videos. I've had a bunch of other plans for them for a while. I've had other series that I've planned for a while. And I feel like it's like I could probably run through each series at different times and try not to overwhelm it. So we'll see how that works out. Even after the adventurers wave of things, even after the mech wave of things for this week and next week, what's going to happen in June. I will try to update about that separately on the channel. I will also get some things up on eBay shortly after this. So I've mentioned them before. I do have an eBay store, Maniac for Toys. I have a couple of sealed Lego items that are going up on there currently, and they're sealed, like factory sealed. Like, I have not opened them, I have not tampered with them. Especially with these times, I don't want to worry about used items and cleanliness and everything like that. Like, if it's factory sealed, it should be fine. It shouldn't have any issues being received in the mail. And I've been careful about these as well when I've received other things in the mail. So thank you for watching. I will talk to you later. Stay safe, everyone. I need some dinner. Dinner sounds like a good idea. Good day, mates.